The four jacks was the first trick I ever learnt. My granddad told me this story. I must have been 6 years old, and it was amazing. It blew my mind. I had no idea how he did it, and he never told me how it was done. And he only did it once. So for many years, I just always remembered my granddad as being this man of mystery who can do these weird things. He used to play other little tricks on me and my brother and my sister, and it was fascinating until many years later, he told us how he did it with the four jacks, or somebody worked it out, I'm not sure, but we knew how it was done. And obviously the magic is taken away, but it then enables me or you to be able to create those moments for other people. So I'm going to show you the four jacks trick now, and then I will show you how to do it. So it looks like this. You take four jacks, and if you were here, I would give these to you so you could examine them. And I would give you the choice between holding onto either the jacks or this is a house. Let's assume this is a house. Imagine this is a house. And the jacks are going to steal from the house. So let's say you want to hold the jacks. I would give these to you. And let's say you're over here. There we go. And the first jack goes into the basement to steal the wine. The second jack goes into the living room to steal the TV. The third jack goes into the bedroom to steal the jewellery. And the last jack stays on the roof to keep watch. So they all go in and do their dirty work, and then one day there's a knock on the door. It's the police, and all four jacks escape from the roof of the house, one by one. I tell you, you don't have to be 6 years old to be impressed by this. Adults are just as impressed. I perform this at events, weddings, parties for grown men and women, and they are still just as flummoxed. Now, I'm going to show you two methods. The first method is the original that I learned as a kid, the method that my granddad used. You're going to take your four jacks and place any three cards on top. So from the face, you will have a jack, another jack, another jack, another jack, and then three random cards. So I can spread these out to you like this, and you will believe I'm holding four jacks. Now with practice, I can actually hold them in this position, and you cannot see, I'm hoping, any other cards behind those four jacks. In real life, what I would actually do is probably spread them more like this, down here like this, and I would hold these other cards in dealing position, dealing grip. So I'd hold them in dealing grip, and that's with my fingers around the edge and my thumb on the opposite edge, so I can keep them nicely square so cards aren't spread apart or going to slip out my hand in any direction. It's a nice cradle. I can also then push over that jack with my thumb, that first jack, and keep the other cards in position. And I can do that all the way along, like so. And I'm using my thumb there to keep those cards together. It's obviously very important. Nobody sees you have extra cards behind you there, behind the last jack. And that is obviously the thing to be careful of here, is not spreading those other cards even just a millimeter. If people see there are other cards hiding here, the whole trick is ruined. So you'll have to play around with what feels best and how to hold those extra cards in your hand nice and square, nice and firm, nice and tight, so you can display them in any way you can. So it looks like there's just 4 jacks. Then, quite simply, you place that whole packet on top of the deck and tell the story. The first jack goes into the basement to steal the wine. This is obviously a random card. The second jack goes into the living room to steal the TV. Again, a random card. The third jack goes into the bedroom to steal the jewelry. And the last jack, which is going to be a jack, stays on the roof to keep watch. All of a sudden, there's a knock at the door. And I like to give a loud knock and shock everyone and make them jump and go without hurting my knuckles too much. It's the police, and all 4 jacks escape from the roof of the house. That is the essence of the trick. So, I wanted to be able to show people the 4 jacks and have them examine them and make sure there are only 4 jacks there, because some people have seen this trick before, some people know how it's done. It's a very old trick, and that's how they're used to seeing it, with extra cards behind the back. So what I do is a very sneaky move. I take 3 kings. It could be any of the other picture cards. I like to use the kings, and I get those on top of the deck. And I can do this now. Let's actually shuffle those up and I'll show you what it looks like to do this live. So nothing's set up, the cards are shuffled, so you could use any deck. The jacks are lost in there somewhere. The deck is totally mixed up. I take the deck. I've already seen a king, so I will put that straight on top of the deck. I've also seen a jack, so I can throw that out. I'm going to take the jacks out while putting those kings at the top of the deck. So as I go through, there's a jack, I take it out. Now I've seen 2 queens here together, which I can use. It doesn't have to be kings. So I'm just going to throw them right on top. I'm not even going to try and hide it. I just put them to the top. Nobody knows what's happening yet. The trick hasn't really started yet. So I'm not trying to hide anything. I just put a couple of cards to the top and throw some out. Nobody is going to care. So I've got my jacks out and 3 other picture cards on top. I can then give these to you to examine, make sure there's nothing on the backs, no extra cards. While you're doing that, I'm going to get a break under those top 3 cards. Easiest way to do this is spreading over with your thumb. You can use your other hand if you need. And once I've got 3 cards, I'm going to bring them back over the deck with, like, over my little finger like that. So my little finger is wedged in between those 3 cards and the rest of the deck. Just like that. You can also riffle up the back of the deck until I am holding 3 cards, wedge my little finger in there, and then that's 4 cards. So all I need to do is flick one more off, put my little finger in, and there's my 3 cards. This is all happening while they're looking at the jacks. I take them back, square them up, and I'm going to switch these two packets. To do that, these jacks are between my middle finger and thumb, and I'm going to come over the top, and in the action of seemingly counting the jacks out onto the top of the deck, I'm going to reach over to that corner where my little finger is and use my ring finger and thumb to pick it up, just like that. I reach over, I pick it up with my ring finger and thumb as my other thumb pulls that whole packet of jacks onto the top of the deck, counting 1. I then count the other 3 picture cards from 2, 3, and 4. And now I have switched those 2 packets over, meaning when I pick up the top 4 cards, they will be a jack and 3 random picture cards. I will do that one more time. So we've got 3 picture cards, 4 jacks here, a break under those top 3 cards. At full speed, it looks like this. We've got the jacks, fantastic. There's only 4 there. I square these up. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's as fast as that. Once again, in slow motion, my jacks, pinky, ring finger picks up that packet. 1, 2, 3, 4. I then take those top 4 cards off the deck, place down the house. I square these up, turn them over, and I spread them in this unique way where my thumb hides this pip that is closest to me. If I push them away from me like that, keeping my thumb there, it looks like I'm holding 4 jacks. I don't call any attention to this, however. I just simply say, do you want the jacks or the house? You're just going to hold on to one of them. Which one do you want? If they say the house, I say, right, hold your hands like a little table, and I put that in their hands. If they say the jacks, I say, great, I square these up, and I put them in their hands. It's a lovely little subtlety because they've seen 4 jacks. I've sort of counted them out, but people tend to forget that. I then show them the 4 jacks. Just casually, psychologically, there's no reason to think they are anything else in this position. 4 jacks. All you see is colour and pictures and swords. I then do the exact same thing as before. Whichever one they hold, I tell the story. The first jack goes into the basement, second jack into the living room, third jack into the bedroom, and the last jack stays on the roof. The police kick the jacks out, and they all escape. I hope that all makes sense. Good luck, and I can't wait to hear you retell the legend of the 4 jacks.